Okay, so we are happy to welcome Raymond Spinelli of Lincoln Investment, who's joining us today as part of our financial literacy series. Thank you, Ray. Before we begin, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, your career, a little bit about what Lincoln does?
Yeah, so I've been in the industry for about 30 years, starting as a stockbroker way back in the 80s, and have been with Lincoln about 6 years now. And Lincoln Investment is a broker-dealer firm that helps people prepare for retirement, and we specialize in the educator space to help educators guide and help them to guide themselves in the retirement planning space.
Excellent, thank you. And as you know, we're going to be New Jersey Department of Education recently revised their standards for financial literacy. So we're going to have a conversation that really addresses a couple of the standards that are new, that are in there.
Sure.
The first one is all about risk management and insurance. And the core idea for this is that a person's tolerance for investment risk can change depending on factors such as life circumstances, financial goals, and economic conditions. So let's talk a little bit about this, especially what's happening now. Can you tell us, has there been an effect on COVID on the market?
Yeah, it was kind of a very strange couple of years, obviously. Back in March of 2020, the market was shaken tremendously. And fortunately for all of us, it was only temporary. So we only really saw a big decrease in the markets when the pandemic came upon us back in March. So for about a solid month, I would say, we saw some very shaky results, if that makes sense. And then, the strangest thing started to happen. We started to see a recovery in the markets, even with the disarray of the pandemic and lives lost and millions of people laid off and businesses suffering. We still saw an increase in the market. And even to today, fast forward where we are today, we're still seeing a little bit of a struggle with inflation and supply chain issues, but reality, we're seeing a steady market result, if that makes sense at this point today. Strangest thing I've ever encountered in my career of 30 years, but in a good way.
Thank you so much. So looking to the future, have the current economic conditions changed how people should consider long-term investments?
It shouldn't, Christy. I think people have to set their goals, stay with their goals. For example, if you have a college education or planning goal, stick with that. As you get older, you need to adjust your risk tolerance. But I think based on goal setting, it's upon the needs that you're currently involved in, whether it's college planning, income needs, retirement needs, and working with an advisor can help you in that regard by adjusting risk levels over time.
That's great. And that kind of leads into my next question. And this is kind of for our younger financial gurus out there, or our students that are interested in this. Where can young investors go to get reliable and timely information?
Yeah, we're in a technology age, as you well know, and sometimes I'm behind the curve on that. But I think for a young adult out there today, your typical Yahoo Finance, you can see real-time quotes on companies. You can get some information there. Morningstar is a very good opportunity for anyone to look at current conditions, as well as Bloomberg. There's a ton of stuff out there that you can just Google today. But I think the hardest part is to teach our elders some of that. So we're hopeful that some of the youngsters can help with their parents, grandparents, et cetera, to navigate them through.
We certainly have faith in our younger generation, that's for sure. Well, thank you so much, Ray, for sharing your insight and your expertise. And we'd like to thank Lincoln Investment for their support of our professional development workshop series for financial literacy educators here in New Jersey. Thank you so much, Ray.
You're welcome. Thank you, Christy.